If you woke up tomorrow with absolutely nothing, no money, no connections, no reputation, no fancy degree, no lucky breaks, just your mind, your determination, and the belief that you are meant for more, would you rise or would you fold? Because the truth is brutally simple. Most people never get rich, not because they lack opportunity, but because they never sharpen their mindset to recognize one. They walk past million-dollar doors every single day, but they're too distracted, too afraid, or too conditioned by society to see them. But if I had to start at absolute zero today, if every dollar I've ever earned vanished overnight, if I had 12 months to go from nothing to 10 million, I wouldn't panic, I wouldn't complain, I wouldn't blame circumstances. I would smile, because the game becomes clearer the moment everything is stripped away. Starting from zero isn't a disadvantage, it's freedom. It means you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. It means every decision you make now matters. It means every skill you develop now is fuel. It means every hour you invest now pushes you closer to your breakthrough. So if I had 1 year to build 10 million from nothing, I'd do exactly what I'm about to share with you. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I know that right now, somewhere inside you, there is a version of yourself begging for a chance to prove what you're really capable of. I know many of you feel stuck, underpaid, overlooked, unappreciated. You know you're meant for something bigger, but you haven't had the blueprint. So take this seriously, because this is the blueprint. I would begin by mastering one principle. Every dollar you earn in the beginning must come from your skill, not your time. The world pays average people for time. It pays extraordinary people for specialized skills. So before I even thought about money, I think about value. What can I learn fast, apply immediately, and charge a premium for? Something people need desperately, something businesses rely on, something that produces results, because money doesn't go to the person who works the hardest, it flows to the person who solves the most valuable problems. So my first move would be to identify a problem that businesses are already losing money from, something urgent, something painful, something they would pay instantly to fix. There are hundreds: lead generation, sales closing, video editing, content creation, short form ads, email writing, CRM automation, brand strategy, paid media management, software implementation, search engine optimization, funnel optimization, and so on. Any of these skills can be learned in a matter of weeks with extreme focus. And once you master one, you can charge real money for it. Thousands per client, not pennies per hour. But here's what most people never understand. You don't need to be the best in the world at something to get paid like a winner. You just need to be better than the people who aren't even trying. If I was starting from zero, I'd pick one skill and become dangerously good at it within 30 days. That's all it takes when you're obsessed. I'd watch 200 hours of tutorials, take notes like my life depended on it, practice relentlessly, study competitors, and model what works. Because success isn't about guessing, it's about modeling proven winners. Once my skill was sharp enough to deliver results, I'd offer it to businesses for free for the first 3 clients. Not because I doubt my ability, but because I want undeniable proof. Proof gives you leverage. Proof gives you confidence. Proof closes deals. Those first 3 clients become testimonials, case studies, and before and after results that make selling effortless. And once I'm armed with proof, the real money begins. I'd build a simple offer, clear, specific, outcome driven. I wouldn't say I do marketing. I'd say I bring you 20 to 40 qualified customers per month using short form content systems. I wouldn't say I edit videos. I'd say I turn your long form videos into viral clips that triple your reach in 30 days. I wouldn't say I create websites. I'd say I build conversion optimized landing pages that increase your sales by 18 to 40%. Specificity sells. Vague promises are ignored. So the next step is simple. I'd message 1,000 businesses. Yes, 1,000%. Most people never get rich because they stop after 10%. But if you're starting from zero, you have something powerful on your side. Sweat equity. And sending 1,000 messages is easy when you have nothing to distract you. Out of 1,000, at least 30 to 70 will respond. Out of those, 10 to 20 will take a call. Out of those, 3 to 5 will close. That's your first $10,000 or $25,000 a month. Because when you charge $2,000, $3,500, or $5,000 per client, hitting 5 figures becomes math, not magic. And I wouldn't stop there. I'd reinvest everything into scaling. ads, better software, better systems, contractors, automation. Money becomes a tool, not a reward. And once the service-based income stream is producing predictable revenue, the next step becomes expansion, not adding random new offers, but multiplying what already works. I'd hire editors, writers, closers, appointment setters. I'd take myself out of the delivery side and focus on sales, strategy, positioning, partnerships. And once my agency hits 50,000 to 100,000 per month, which is realistic within months, not years, I would begin building digital assets. Digital assets are the key to hitting 8 figures in 12 months. Because there is a ceiling to how many clients you can manage, but there is no ceiling to how many people can download a product, a course, a program, a template pack, a coaching community, a software tool. These are scalable. One product can make millions with no marginal cost. So I would turn the skill I mastered into a digital product, something actionable, something valuable, something people would gladly pay for. Then I'd use the content I'm already creating for clients to build a personal brand. One viral clip can change your life. One tweet can attract a billionaire follower. One long-form video can become evergreen income for years. And in today's digital world, attention is the new currency. People think money is the ultimate resource. It's not. Attention is. With attention, you create trust. With trust, you create demand. With demand, you create wealth. So I would post aggressively, relentlessly, without fear, without ego, without hesitation. Because obscurity is the enemy. You cannot make 10 million when nobody knows you exist. I'd build a content system, 20 to 40 clips per week, 2 long-form videos, 10 to 15 tweets per day, 3 to 5 Instagram posts, constant stories. Consistency compounds. And here's the crazy truth. You don't even need to be charismatic, funny, or perfect. You just need to be honest, helpful, and consistent. People listen to those they trust, and trust is built through repetition. And when people trust you, they buy from you. They buy your course, they buy your consulting, they buy your software, they buy your high-ticket program, they buy your events, they buy your books. At this stage, income explodes. You're making money from services, digital products, brand deals, affiliate partnerships, content monetization, and possibly even software. But the real leap to 8 figures comes from one thing: partnerships. I would partner with influencers, creators, businesses, and entrepreneurs. I'd offer them done-for-you systems. I'd offer revenue share deals. I'd build software solutions specifically for their audience. One partnership with the right creator can bring in 7 figures in a single launch, and 10 million becomes not just possible, but predictable. But the truth is, none of this would work unless I first mastered my mindset, because the biggest obstacle when starting from zero isn't money, skills, or competition. It's you. Your doubts, your fears, your excuses, your habits, your procrastination, your comfort zone, that voice in your head telling you it's too hard, it might fail, maybe later, what will people think? That voice has killed more dreams than failure ever will. So if I had 12 months to build 10 million from scratch, I'd silence that voice ruthlessly. I'd replace it with discipline, with clarity, with obsession. I'd remind myself daily that comfort is the enemy of greatness. I'd train my mind like an athlete trains his body. I'd wake up early, sleep late, work relentlessly. Not because hustle is everything, but because momentum is. A person who works with momentum accomplishes more in 3 months than most people accomplish in 3 years. And here's the part people forget. Money loves speed. Opportunities love boldness. Fortune loves preparation. Wealth rewards those who are aggressive, strategic, patient, and relentless all at once. If I had to start from nothing, I'd talk to people every day. I'd learn sales, persuasion, negotiation, because everything in life is sales. Every job, every business, every idea, every opportunity. Learning to sell is learning to survive, but learning to sell well is learning to build empires. So I'd practice every call, every pitch, every DM, every meeting. And I would never fear rejection. Rejection is just redirection. Every no sharpens your skills. Every no builds emotional resilience. Every no is a test to see if you want it badly enough. And trust me, you will eventually get a yes. And that one yes can change your life. As the money grows, I'd invest in systems, automations, CRMs, outsourcing, because the goal is not to work more. It's to create machines that work for you. You don't become rich by doing everything yourself. You become rich by building structures that scale without you. Then I'd invest in assets, cash flowing businesses, equities, real estate, software. But these come later. First you earn, then you multiply, then you protect. Starting from zero, the fastest path to wealth is through skills. The fastest path to millions is through leverage. The fastest path to tens of millions is through attention. And the fastest path to generational wealth is through ownership. All four matter. All four build on each other. All four create a foundation that nothing can take from you. Not the economy, not the market, not luck, not circumstance. I was rebuilding from zero. I'd live like a ghost. No distractions, no wasted nights, no meaningless friendships. Focus becomes your greatest weapon. Distraction becomes your biggest enemy. While others scroll, you build. While others complain, you execute. While others fear, you attack. While others doubt, you learn. While others wait, you create. And when the year ends, the world will look at you differently. They will say you were lucky, that you were gifted, that you had connections, that you had a head start. They will invent stories to explain why you succeeded because they can't accept the truth, that you outworked them, outlearned them, outfocused them, outpersisted them, and outsacrificed them. That's the formula. And it's the same formula I would use to go from 0 to 10 million in 12 months. When starting from absolute zero, the first and most important move is building a high-income skill with speed, focus, and intensity. Because the world doesn't pay for general effort, it pays for specialized value. A skill is the only thing you can acquire without money, without connections, and without needing anyone's permission. In a world where businesses are losing billions due to inefficiencies, weak marketing, poor sales, outdated technology, and bad content, solving even a small fraction of those problems instantly puts you in demand. When choosing a skill to master, the smartest strategy is selecting something you can learn in 30 to 60 days with extreme focus and produce real results with. Skills like short-form video editing, lead generation, email copywriting, funnel building, CRM automation, paid ads, social media management, content repurposing, high-ticket closing, and branding strategy are not just valuable, they're urgently needed across industries. Every business wants more customers, more attention, more engagement, more conversions, and more automation. When you can provide any of these outcomes, even at a beginning level, you become more valuable than 90% of job seekers competing with university degrees. The trick is not to dabble in 10 different skills, but to go all in on one. Most people fail to make money because they're constantly switching. They watch a tutorial here, try a course there, get distracted by a new opportunity next week. But wealth doesn't come from scattered effort, it comes from concentrated mastery. If you want to go from zero to money fast, you need to pick one lane and become exceptional in it. Studies show that 80% of the results in a skill come from 20% of the knowledge. That means you don't need to know everything. You need to know the small set of actions that drive real outcomes for clients. When you're focused, you can compress years of learning into weeks by reverse engineering the experts. Look at the top 5 people in the skill and study their offers, their style, their results, their processes, and their clients. Break down what makes them effective, replicate their structure, and build your variation on top of it. This allows you to avoid years of trial and error. Once you have a skill, practice like your life depends on it. Spend hours every day watching tutorials, breaking down examples, replicating winning formats, and sharpening your craft. When you practice intentionally, skill compounds fast. You'll quickly notice that clients don't need the best expert in the world. They need someone reliable, fast, and results-oriented. Skills make you powerful because nobody can take them away. Even if the economy collapses, even if you lose everything, a skill becomes your engine. It's your equity, it's your leverage, it's your insurance policy. And when you master even one powerful skill, making your first thousands becomes a matter of execution, not luck. That is why mastering a high-income skill quickly is the first non-negotiable step in going from 0 to 10 million in a year. It builds the foundation, the confidence, the value, and the leverage that every other step is built on. After mastering a skill, the next move isn't rushing to make money, but building proof, because proof is the currency that multiplies your earning power. People don't pay high prices based on your potential. They pay based on certainty, and certainty is created through results. When starting from zero, you have no reputation, no testimonials, no portfolio, no social validation. That's why offering your service to the first 3 clients for free is not a sacrifice, it's a strategic investment. These 3 clients give you something far more valuable than initial cash. They give you documented, measurable, undeniable proof that your skill works. Proof becomes your weapon in the marketplace. It eliminates trust barriers. It increases perceived value. It replaces resistance with confidence. With proof, you no longer have to persuade, you simply present. When you help your first 3 clients, you do it with excellence. You communicate clearly, deliver fast, and show them a level of commitment they've never seen before. You're not working for free, you're working for leverage. After delivering exceptional results and collecting testimonials, screenshots, before and after examples, improvements, analytics, measurable wins, you now have what 90% of beginners never take time to build. Proof is what transforms your offer from a maybe to a must-have. It's the reason people pay you thousands instead of hundreds. Most people undercharge because they lack confidence, and they lack confidence because they lack proof. Once you have documented results, pricing becomes simple. You're no longer selling your time, you're selling an outcome. When you say, I can help you get 20 to 40 new customers monthly, or I can increase your conversion rate by 25%, or I can turn your long-form videos into high-performing short content, the value becomes clear. Rich clients don't buy time, they buy results. That's why charging $2,000 to $5,000 per client becomes not only realistic, but expected when you can demonstrate impact. Proof also allows you to refine your process. The free clients help you master your workflow, build your systems, and understand client needs. You discover what works, what doesn't, and how to streamline delivery. You're essentially being paid in knowledge and experience that will maximize profits later. Most importantly, proof gives you confidence. When you've delivered real results to real businesses, you walk differently, you pitch differently, you negotiate differently. You don't show up hoping to be chosen, you show up knowing you can deliver. Confidence closes deals. Confidence attracts clients. Confidence multiplies income. With proof, you can position yourself as a premium provider, not a bargain option. And premium providers get rich. This is why starting with free work isn't lowering your worth. It's building the credibility that lets you charge what you're truly worth. Proof is the step that transforms your skill into a business, your value into income, and your potential into profit. Proof takes you from trying to convince clients to having clients chase you. It's the catalyst that turns a beginner into a sought-after expert, which is the foundation for scaling toward massive income. Passive outreach is the most underestimated, underused, and misunderstood step in building wealth from zero, yet it's the one that creates the fastest and most predictable results. Most people master a skill, get proof, create an offer, and then wait. They wait for luck. They wait for someone to notice them. They wait for clients to magically appear. But money does not reward waiting, it rewards initiative. If you want to go from zero to big numbers fast, you need to treat client acquisition like a numbers game. When you message 1,000 businesses with a clear, compelling offer backed by proof, you are playing a game of predictable math. Out of 1,000, maybe 100 will reply. Out of those, perhaps 20 will jump on a call. From those calls, 3 to 5 will convert into paying clients. That alone can create a $10,000 to $25,000 month immediately when each client is worth $2,000 to $5,000. But most people never reach this outcome because they stop too early. They message 20 people, get discouraged by no response, and convince themselves the strategy doesn't work. Wealth isn't built by timid action, it's built by volume, persistence, and consistency. When you commit to 1,000 outreaches, you separate yourself from the 99% who quit. Success becomes inevitable, not theoretical. Outreach forces you to sharpen your communication skills. You learn how to craft messages that capture attention, how to highlight your value quickly, and how to make your pitch irresistible. You begin refining your messaging based on what works and what doesn't. Every message becomes data. Every response becomes insight. Every call becomes practice. The process builds you even before it pays you. Outreach also shifts your mindset from passive to proactive. You stop thinking like an employee waiting for instructions and start thinking like an entrepreneur hunting for opportunity. This shift in identity is critical. When you're starting from zero, your biggest advantage is your time, energy, and hunger. Outreach converts those into revenue. As you message hundreds of businesses, you start to recognize patterns, what industries need your offer most, what pain points are universal, what objections are common. This helps you refine your offer and position it where demand is highest. You don't need to target everyone. You need to target the right ones. Outreach also builds resilience. You will face rejection, but rejection becomes irrelevant when you understand the math. You aren't looking for approval, you're looking for matches. A no is simply filtering out the wrong fit. A yes is all it takes to change your month, your income, your momentum. When you combine skill, proof, and massive outreach, you create your first income explosion. From there, everything becomes easier. Outreach isn't just a tactic, it's the lifeline. It's the difference between hoping for clients and guaranteeing them. It's the bridge between preparation and profit. It's the engine that turns your skill into a cash-producing machine that can scale into millions. Once you have clients, income, and momentum, the next step is scaling beyond your own capacity. Because no matter how skilled or hardworking you are limited by time. You can't build a multi-million-dollar machine doing everything yourself. Scaling requires systems, teams, and automation that allow your business to run without you doing every task. The goal is simple: remove yourself from delivery and reinvest your time into growth, strategy, and sales. When you begin scaling, the first step is building repeatable systems. Document every process you do, how you onboard clients, how you deliver your service, how you communicate, how you revise, how you finalize work. Turn your workflow into a checklist or standard operating procedure. This creates consistency, reduces mistakes, and makes it easy for others to follow the process. Then you bring in contractors, video editors, designers, writers, appointment setters, virtual assistants, or media buyers, depending on your skill. Outsourcing delivery frees you from the time-consuming tasks and lets you handle more clients without burnout. You become a manager of systems, not a laborer inside the system. It also elevates your perceived value because clients don't see you as a freelancer. They see you as a company with capacity. Automation becomes your next multiplier. CRM tools, scheduling apps, AI assistants, templates, automated onboarding, auto-sending proposals, automated follow-ups, and client portals reduce manual work and increase efficiency. This is how you scale from $10,000 months to $50,000, then $100,000 and beyond. But scaling isn't just about tools and hiring, it's about leadership. You must learn to delegate, communicate clearly, and set expectations. You shift from being the worker to being the architect. The more your systems improve, the faster your business grows. You also want to diversify your offer. When you're no longer doing all the labor, you can introduce upsells, recurring subscriptions, retainer packages, and premium service tiers. Monthly retainers stabilize your income. Upsells increase your average client value. Premium tiers attract high-ticket clients. This combination creates predictable revenue that compounds. Reinvesting back into your business accelerates growth. Investing in better software, better contractors, better branding, and better automation increases your capacity and raises your perceived value. As your business grows, you can then hire salespeople, appointment setters, and full-time team members to fully remove yourself from daily operations. Eventually, your agency becomes a machine. Clients come in, the team delivers, systems operate, and your job is to oversee growth. You now own a scalable business, not a freelancing job. Scaling transforms your income from linear to exponential. Linear income is limited by your hours. Exponential income is limited only by your systems. With scale, you create the foundation that can generate millions in revenue and eventually allow you to build digital products, software, partnerships, and new income streams without sacrificing time. Scaling is the step that turns your first success into sustainable, expanding wealth. Social media is the modern marketplace, the most powerful attention engine in history, and the greatest tool for turning expertise into exponential income. When you post consistently, authentically, and strategically, you attract an audience that trusts you, learns from you, and eventually buys from you. This is how people go from obscurity to millions in a year, because attention multiplies everything. When you begin posting, you're not just sharing content, you're building a digital identity. People follow leaders, experts, storytellers, and problem solvers. When your content helps people, inspires them, or gives them clarity, they naturally see you as a guide. That trust becomes the foundation for monetization. Content doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be consistent. Posting 20 to 40 short-form clips per week and 2 long-form videos builds familiarity. Familiarity builds trust. Trust builds sales. With social media, you can reach thousands or millions without paid advertising. Every post is a digital asset that can bring in clients, partnerships, and opportunities years later. The key is documenting your journey, sharing your knowledge, showcasing results, and giving practical value. Once you build an audience, digital products become the next step. These are infinitely scalable: courses, ebooks, templates, programs, membership communities, coaching, and software tools. You create it once and it sells forever with no extra time. Thousands of people can buy the same product simultaneously, making digital products the key to jumping from 6 figures to 7 and 8 figures. Partnerships amplify this even further. Collaborating with influencers, co-creating offers, doing revenue splits, and cross-promotion can generate 6 or 7 figures in a single launch. Social media also boosts your agency. When people see you as a knowledgeable figure online, your agency gains credibility. Clients approach you instead of you chasing them. You become the authority in your niche. Authority allows you to raise prices, attract high-ticket clients, and expand globally. Content becomes a magnet, pulling in opportunities, investors, clients, followers, and partnerships. Social media also protects your business. If algorithms change or one platform slows down, your presence on multiple platforms ensures stability. It diversifies attention, which diversifies income. Posting content also turns you into a category leader. When someone thinks of your service, your industry, or your niche, your face and voice come to mind. That is brand power, and brand power prints money. The more you post, the more your audience compounds. One viral video can introduce you to millions overnight. One video can bring 10,000 followers. One piece of content can change your entire trajectory. And once social media is combined with a scalable product, a strong offer, and a systemized business, the income becomes limitless. That is how modern creators build digital empires without needing large teams or massive budgets. Attention is the new currency, and social media is how you earn it at scale. No strategy, skill, or system can outperform a weak mindset, and no lack of resources can stop a powerful one. When you're starting from zero, the single greatest advantage you have is hunger. Hunger fuels discipline, and discipline fuels results. The biggest enemy isn't lack of money, it's distraction, procrastination, fear, and comfort. Comfort kills speed, and speed is essential for compounding results fast. A relentless mindset means showing up even when nobody is watching, even when you're tired, even when results haven't shown up yet. It means building self-trust by doing what you say you will do. Discipline is the bridge between ideas and success. It's what allows ordinary people to produce extraordinary outcomes. When you eliminate distractions, pointless scrolling, toxic friendships, late-night laziness, excuses, you suddenly gain dozens of extra productive hours each week. These hours become skill development, outreach, client calls, content creation, and business building. That's how momentum is created. Momentum is a superpower. When you work consistently over time, results start compounding faster than you ever imagined. Rejection becomes irrelevant because you understand that every no is simply part of the math. You develop emotional resilience. You stop taking things personally. You stop tying your identity to outcomes. You start acting like a professional, not an amateur. A focused mind cuts through noise. Laser focus allows you to outperform people who are more talented but distracted. Focus means eliminating options and committing deeply to one path until it works. Most people fail because they change directions every few weeks. A relentless mindset forces you to stay until success becomes inevitable. You also develop patience. Building a business is a battle of consistency, not speed alone. Wealth is created by stacking small wins every day. When you operate with long-term vision, short-term frustrations lose power. You stop quitting too soon. You start seeing challenges as tests instead of obstacles, and you begin growing into a leader capable of handling millions. Discipline helps you wake up early, work late, study hard, practice your skill, message hundreds of businesses, take sales calls, publish content, build systems, reinvest profits, and continuously improve. Mindset becomes the fuel that makes all the other steps possible. Without discipline, you give up when things get difficult. With discipline, you push forward until the world has no choice but to reward you. The path from 0 to 10 million is built on strategy, yes, but even more so on the mindset of someone unwilling to settle, unwilling to quit, and unwilling to accept mediocrity. Your mindset determines your income, your habits determine your results, and your discipline determines your destiny.